before OpenAI was working at a startup, and we were dabbling in building agents, kind of the way that I see most people describe building agents on the internet, which is essentially you construct this graph of operations, and some of the nodes in that graph are language models. And so the language model can decide what to do next, but the overarching logic of the sequence of steps that happen is defined by a human. And what we found is that it's a powerful way of building things to get quickly to a prototype, but it falls down pretty quickly in the real world because it's very hard to anticipate all the scenarios that the model might face and think about all the different branches of the path that you might want to take. In addition to that, the models often are not the best decision makers at nodes in that graph because they weren't trained to make those decisions. They were trained to do things that look similar to that. And so I think the thing that's really powerful about this model is that it's trained directly end to end to solve the kinds of tasks that users are using it to solve. I think the guidance I give people is the one thing that you don't want to bake into the model is kind of hard and fast rules. If you have a database that you don't want the model to touch or something like that, it's better to encode that in human written logic. But I think it's kind of like a lesson that I've seen people learn over and over again in this field is like, we think that we can do things that are smarter than what the models do by writing it ourselves. But in reality, as the field progresses, the models come up with better solutions to things than humans do. Also, the number one lesson of machine learning is you get what you optimize for. If you're able to set up the system such that you can optimize directly for the outcome that you're looking for, the results are going to be much, much better than if you try to glue together models that are not optimized end to end for the tasks that you're trying to have them do. So my long-term guidance is that, I think reinforcement learning tuning on top of models is probably going to be a critical part of how the most powerful agents get built.